The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has announced it will begin screening for over 500 exceptional candidates below 16 years of age seeking admission into tertiary institutions for the 2025-2026 academic session between September 22nd and September 26th. Speaking during the virtual meeting today, Registrar of JAMB, Ishaq Oloyede, said the exercise will be conducted by a special technical committee set up by JAMB in Lagos, Abuja, and Owerri. He explained that Lagos will host 395 candidates, Owerri 133, and Abuja 66. Oloyede noted that the screening is to ensure that only exceptional and well-prepared underage candidates gain admission. The committee also resolved to request the result details from the West African Examination Council to verify the eligibility of some shortlisted candidates before they appear for interviews. Anyway, from educational matters, the National Executive Council, NEC, of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, has expressed concern over escalating insecurity in many parts of the country, particularly in Benue, Zamfara, and Plateau State, among others. A communique issued at the end of NEC meeting of the NUJ, held in Kano, signed by Achike Chude, lamented the azadious state of federal and state roads across the country, particularly in Delta, Bauchi, Gombe, to Taraba, Benue, Rivers, Enugu, and Kogi states. The communique also noted with dismay the growing incidents of unprofessional conduct by some chief press secretaries, CPS, to state governors, including hostility towards journalists and obstructing NUJ council leaders from accessing their governors, stressing that such behavior is unacceptable. The Executive Director, Patriot for the Advancement of Peace and Social Development, Sani Abdullahi, has warned against negotiating with armed bandits. Speaking on national television today, Abdullahi stressed that it is against the Islamic doctrine to negotiate with bandits or terrorists. The director also said that armed bandits have posed a significant danger in the entire northwest region for more than a decade, adding that any peace deal entered with them would fail woefully.
This thing had happened in Shinkapi local government. In my own community, we have entered into this short-term deal with the Bello Turji. At the end of the day, because his in-law was arrested by military, he now break off the peace deal for about now 9 months. He was terrorizing the whole community. Even as I'm talking now, Tubali community in Shinkapi local government, all of them were displaced. They have more than 10,000 inhabitants. They were all displaced. So this is the danger of going into negotiation with the locals and the bandit. They are not.
The Executive Director, Patriot for the Advancement of Peace and Social Development, Sani Abdullahi, speaking there. In the meantime, a security consultant, Onyekachi Adekoya, has called for urgent reforms in aviation security following the recent Ibom Air incident involving a passenger and cabin crew member. Speaking in a televised interview today, Adekoya stressed the need to prepare for redundancy in security planning. Describing aviation security as a top priority globally, the consultant expressed concern over what he linked to a lack of seriousness in the Nigerian context.
It's not a problem of standards, annexes, protocols, or procedure. It's a cultural problem. It's a general Nigerian problem. With profound respect to the Honorable Minister, you can make statements which are right and politically correct, but these issues coming to the fore, they reveal the deep states of unseriousness with which we take security generally across the country. And it's a big.
Adekoya urged the Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, to clamp down on security lapses, pointing to faulty facilities, non-functional equipment, and signal failures from locomotives as pressing issues. Meanwhile, an Ikeja Magistrates Court sitting in Ogba, Lagos today has discharged Comfort Emerson, the passenger accused of unruly behavior and assault aboard an Ibom Air flight. Presiding Magistrate Olanrewaju Salami struck out the 5-count charge against Emerson after the police formally withdrew the case. During the proceedings, police prosecutor Oluwabumi Adeito informed the court that the complainant and the airline were no longer interested in pursuing the matter and applied for the withdrawal of the case, citing instructions from the police authorities. Following the application, Magistrate Salami granted the request and ordered Emerson's discharge. Just listen to News Express on Adamimogo 107.7 FM. Oladoyin Palace Idoekiti coming up next. INEC warns against multiple voter registration, threatens the listing of offenders. Do join us again.
Hello, good people of Ekiti State and its environment. For your private, political, family, or club meetings, and so on, of not more than 50 to 100 participants, we introduce to you Adamimogo Event Hall. Yes, right at Oladoyin Palace. Adamimogo 107.7 FM's compound, Ido Ekiti. Ample parking space, good security, clean environment. You also have the opportunity to book for a media publicity of your event on our fast-growing social media platforms. All these for a talking. Simply visit us at Oladoyin Palace, Ido Ekiti, or call the following numbers for more inquiries: 0803-526-5812 or 0916-340-0878 or 0806-511-4430. You can also call 0806-380-8891 at Adamimogo Event Hall. We are waiting for your patronage.
Welcome back and thanks for joining us again. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook via Adamimogo 107.7 FM. Ido Ekiti. For happenings around your news and queries, please contact our newsroom on 0915-786-8095. Now to the rest of the news. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has warned Nigerians against multiple registration in the forthcoming continuous voter registration (CVR) exercise. The Resident Electoral Commissioner (REC) in Plateau, Mohammed Sadiq, during a meeting with stakeholders on the resumption of the CVR across the country, warned that such move would not only attract grave consequences, but that anyone caught would be completely delisted from the voter registration. The Rivers State government has unveiled a coordinated plan to combat malnutrition through stronger health system, sustainable food production, and expanded community engagement. The Administrator of the State, Vice Admiral Ibok Etta Ibas, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Ibibia Warika, during the launch of the State Nutrition 774 Town Hall Stakeholders Workshop in Port Harcourt, called for urgent and united action. According to Ibas, the state has already taken key steps, including allocating 10.8% of the 2025 budget to the health sector, creating nutrition department and establishing dedicated budget lines across ministries. Victims of the recent flood in Yola town of Adamawa have urged the federal government to investigate the role of a mining company whose dam released excess water on the day of the incident. It was reported that the incident, which occurred on July 28, affected about 4,000 households, with 23 lives lost and many others hospitalized. The victims, who spoke to newsmen, called on the federal government and other partners to be involved in the investigation of mining companies. They also alleged that officials of the state have absolved the company of any wrongdoing. We now move to our segment now, and on business news. Dangote Refinery slashes ex-depot petrol price by 30 naira. Let's join Rotade Boluwatife for this story.
Good evening and welcome to the business news. Dangote Petroleum Refinery has announced a reduction in the ex-depot price of petrol by 30 naira from 850 naira to 820 naira per litre. This was contained in a statement by the refinery's Chief Branding and Communications Officer, Anthony Chiejina, who announced the move was part of the refinery's unwavering commitment to national development, assuring the public of consistent and uninterrupted supply of petroleum products. Anthony also stated that the Dangote Petroleum Refinery will commence the phased deployment of 4,000 compressed natural gas powered trucks for fuel distribution across Nigeria, effective August 15, 2025. Still on the business news, the U.S. Energy Information Administration says Brent crude could fall below $60 a barrel in the final quarter of the year, a level last seen in 2020. The agency blames rising supply outpacing demand as a key factor for the price drop, while acting administrator Steve Nally says quick inventory builds often trigger sharp price drop, and that's what they expect in the months ahead. US crude production is also climbing forecast to hit a record of 13.41 million barrels per day in 2025. Analysts warn the glut could keep prices under pressure. Crude oil opened the year at just under $75 a barrel, peaked above 82 in mid-year January, and has been sliding since the brief rallies in April, May, and July before August's latest sell-off. That will be all on the business news. I am Rita Deboluwatife.
On the foreign scene, UK, France, and Germany ready to reimpose sanctions on Iran over nuclear program. Adetunuyo Adeoye is standing by.
Good evening and welcome to Foreign News. Lebanon's President Youssef Aoun has told the senior Iranian official Chief Ali Larijani that Beirut rejects any interference in its internal affairs and has criticized Tehran's statement on plans to disarm Hezbollah as unconstructive. Iran's Supreme National Security Council Chief Ali Larijani's visit to Beirut today comes a week after the Lebanese government ordered the army to devise plans by the end of 2025 to disarm the Iran-aligned Lebanese armed group. Iran expressed opposition to the plan to disarm Hezbollah, which before a war with Israel last year was believed to be better armed than the Lebanese military. Still on foreign, the United Kingdom, France, and Germany have told the United Nations they are ready to reimpose sanctions on Iran over its nuclear program if it fails to resume talk by the end of August. The three countries, known as the E3, said they were prepared to trigger a snapback mechanism, meaning previous sanctions would be reinstated unless Iran resumes negotiation. The E3 said they have offered to extend the deadline for negotiation to the end of August, which they said Iran has not replied to. And that's all on foreign news. I am Adetunuyo Adebayo.
In the showbiz world, internet fraudster found many Nigerian artists. MI Agba claims. Tolulope Abolade has the story.
Good evening and welcome to Entertainment Updates. Veteran rapper Jude Abaga, popularly known as MI, has described the Internet Fraudsters Fund, a major part of the Nigerian music industry. MI described the action as an indictment on Nigeria as a nation that most of the funding of the country's music industry comes from the West and from fraudsters. He insisted that Nigeria needs to do better in terms of funding for the creative industry. Speaking on national television yesterday, MI urged wealthy Nigerians to step up in funding the country's music talents. Still on Entertainment Updates, Tokema Kinwa, a 14-year-old Nigerian media personality, has announced that she's expecting her first child. She shared the exciting news on Instagram, showcasing her baby pump in a heartwarming video. Makinwa described motherhood as the biggest project of her life and the highest calling ever, expressing gratitude for the blessing. In her emotional post, Makinwa reflected on her journey to motherhood, acknowledging the weight and preparation that led to this moment. And that's on an Entertainment Update. Thanks for joining us. I am Tolulope Abolade.
In the world of sport, Lewandowski picks teammate for Ballon d'Or title. Mayowa Olashui has the story.
Sports updates. Barcelona striker Robert Lewandowski has backed teammates Lamine Yamal and Rafinha to be among the leading contenders for the 2025 Ballon d'Or. After their stellar campaigns last season, the two players played alongside Lewandowski in an important role as Barcelona secured a domestic treble, combining for an astonishing 100 direct goals across all competitions. Their performances earned both players spots on the recently announced 30-man shortlist for football's most prestigious individual award. Still on sports, Manchester United goalkeeper Andre Onana has returned to full training following a hamstring injury, the club has announced. Onana suffered an injury during Manchester United's pre-season preparations, with reports suggesting that he will miss the start of the season. He was scheduled to be out injured for 6 to 8 weeks due to a hamstring injury, but it seems he has recovered early enough to start training. And that's all on Sports Updates. My name is Mayowa Olashui.
And with those sports stories, we end this edition of News Express on Adamimogo 107.7 FM, Ulojudo's Palace, Ekiti. Before we go, the highlight again. We told you that President Bola Tinubu has commended the Ekiti State Governor, Biodun Abayomi Ebanji, for his outstanding leadership in agriculture, infrastructure, security and economic growth, declaring him a model of what it means to match policy with action. We did say that the chairman of the Nigerian Labour Congress NLC Lagos State Chapter, Comrade Funmi Sesi, has made a direct appeal to the federal government to prioritize the sale of crude oil to the Dangote Petroleum Refinery in Naira. And finally, we reported that the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has warned Nigerians against multiple registration and a forthcoming continuous voter registration (CVR) exercise. And that's News Express this evening on Adamimogo 107.7 FM, Olojudo's Palace, Ido-Ekiti. On behalf of the production crew led by Folawumi Olaniyan, I am